Hi, I'm Natalie with So Hungry Hippie, and I'm going to show you how to use our zipper overlay templates. So we have many shapes. We have a set of 7 shapes, I believe it is. It's either 6 or 7, in a set that you can purchase at sohungryhippie.com. I will also be using my zipper window template, which is sold by itself, just to make sure that my window is perfect. All right, so for today, I'm going to be using these different colored corks so that you can really see what I'm doing. This one is going to be the overlay fabric. This I will pretend is the exterior, let's say a Santorini tote. And this line, it's just 2 inches down. That's where I want my zipper window to hit. That's why I put that there. This will be the pocket fabric, and this will be my zipper. None of this really goes together. I just wanted contrast so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So first up, I'm going to use this zipper window template. And let's see, for my pocket, it's always nice to make a centering crease and work from the center line that's on the template. Line those up. Okay, so there it is. And now I'm going to trim down the edges. Be careful. So now it's more or less the correct width and height. Now, for the inside, which we also need to cut out, I'm going to use a 28, and I've got to turn this so I can position my body a little bit more easily to cut. I'm going to do the 2. You can also use a marking tool. If this makes you nervous as heck, just draw. If you're brave and you're good with a rotary, you can do that. I usually do it with a rotary, but that one I can feel it. It's dragging, which means I need to change my blade out. And when it's dull and dragging like that, I'm gonna mess it up. So I'll just use my scissors. Go as slow as you need to here. You want this to be as perfect as you can get it for today, for today's skill. All right, there's that. Now, one thing I will mention is we can use double-sided sticky tape. We can use 505. We can use a double-sided fusible web. And we can use Elmer's glue, school glue. Any of these will work. So if you've got any of these, you're golden. I think today I'm going to use my glue stick. I would probably use clear, but I don't have it available, so I'll use the purple. It really doesn't matter as long as you don't put too much on and it's oozing out. Okay, so I've got that cut. I'm just going to let that sit for a moment. And now I'm going to work with my zipper and my pocket fabric. So for instance, for the Santorini tote, this is the correct size of pocket. So what I'm going to do to make this a little easier on myself is cut it in half. It'll just be a little bit simpler. I don't know if this is just my brain or if this is how the professionals do it. This is what I do. So now I've got 2 pieces of pocket fabric. Okay? All right, I'm gonna flip this over. so that the wrong side of the zipper is facing up. And I'm going to place the right side of the fabric along the top here. Now for me, it's easiest to just use some double-sided sticky tape or a little glue rather than clips and pins. This just works better for me. And every time, wherever that pull is, I have to pull this up and make sure it's not going to be wrinkled. Okay, there we go. So now that is sticky, I'm going to place this raw edge with the raw edge of the zipper tape. Hopefully my head's not in the way. See how that is? I got it pretty close. Close enough for me. I'm just going to sew along here. Okay. So that side is on. I'm going to flip it back over. This is how I think of things. So wrong side of the zipper up. It's funny sometimes how our brains need to do things in a certain way, and somebody else might do it in a different way than this. But this is how it works for me. Paper off. And again, right side down. And I'm going to line these up and center them. And get it as close to that top edge as I can. Yeah, good enough for me. And now I'm going to sew along this edge. Okay. I'm going to press these away. Let's give it a finger press here. And this is how we're going to work with the pocket. It'll be like this in the bag. But I'm going to set this to the side for a moment. And we're going to bring the exterior of the bag or your lining, the main body piece. Pretend this is the main body piece, okay? And we're going to apply this template first. So I want mine to hit here. That's why I did the top edge. I can see my centering crease. If you can't see your centering crease, fold it again. And you're going to center those. Match those centering creases. I'm going to press it down. It should hold. Now, if it's not holding, hit it with an iron real quick. I'm going to use my Teflon pressing sheet. No steam. All right. That should be good. Now I'm going to sew around the outside. The outside only for this section. Okay, let's go to the machine. Now when you get to this corner, if you turn your stitch way down to like almost a 0, you don't have to back stitch. It'll just stitch a few times there. And then I turn it up like to a 1, and then I go back to my 2.5. Back down to 1, and turn, and back up to 2.5. That's what I do, because I'm not interested in pulling the threads to the back and knotting them. I don't want to do that. You can if you want. Back down to 1, and up, back up to 2.5. And I am back to the beginning. There we are, looks great. So here's this. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my zipper overlay template and cut down the center. I know this is kind of freaky, this part. I'm going to do my little notches and push this to the back. We're gonna cut this away. You don't have to do this. It's just kind of habit with me. And with that notch, I can really fold this back, and it's simple. I'm gonna grab my garment shears, which are longer. I could definitely use these. Use whatever you're most comfortable controlling and make sure they're sharp. And we're only cutting away the back fabric. Okay, see this? You can lift it up like this. You can cut way up, as long as you're not going through any stitching. And I'm going to turn and come back down. I love cutting cork. It's just so satisfying. Okay. There's our overlay, right? Now, we're gonna bring back our pocket fabric. You can use glue. You can use 505 if you need to. You know what I'm gonna do. Double-sided sticky tape, babes. Easy, easy peasy. Oh, I think I ran out. Yeah, this isn't gonna be sticky here. So good thing I have my second wheel. All right, press that down and peel it up. There we go. Now you know what we're gonna do. There we go. And press it down. Take a breath. Make sure these are pressed open and away. Now, we're gonna sew as close to that inner edge as we can to enclose this. You need to make sure that your fabrics are not flipped down or over. Make sure they're away. If it helps you to roll this up and stick a pin in here, because this will be on the right side of the throat of your machine, go ahead and do it. All right, let's go to the machine. Again, I'm going to start here with a 1 stitch length. And now I can switch it back up to 2.5. I should have my zipper foot on. It would be a lot prettier if I had my zipper foot on. But I'll make do, which is what I want you to do. Whenever you're learning a new skill, use what you've got and practice. Don't expect it to be perfect the first time through, or really ever. Perfection is so overrated. Back down to 1. I'm going to turn. Back up to 2.5. Back down to 1. I'm going to turn. Back up to 2.5. You're not dragging, pulling, pushing. You're letting the feed dogs do the work. I'm going to lift my foot. My needle is down, and I'm going to move my pole out of the way. Back down to 1. Back up to 2.5. Turn. And we're back to the beginning. There we are. All right. I'm going to make sure this is usable. Yep, looks good. I'm gonna come to the back. And now I can bring this top pocket down to meet and pop a pin in there. And now, while I'm moving this main body out of the way as I sew the sides and the bottom. So, just like in my patterns, I'm gonna move this. See how I'm gonna push this fabric out of the way so I can sew this on my sewing machine. I like to start from the bottom and go up. It's just easier for me. And this doesn't have to be perfection. Nobody's ever gonna see this. So just do it the best you can here. And you wanna come all the way up and make sure you backstitch. This is the area that will often open during use of the bag. And believe me, I've lost things through a pocket before because I didn't know I didn't shut it all the way. Ooh. Oh well, it happens. Okay, so, oh yeah, I want to start at the bottom. It's just easier. Starting at the bottom of the pocket and going up. Moving this out of the way. And now I can sew the bottom shut. Now, if your pattern that you're doing says leave it open, then do that. But for the Santorini, we close everything. Take the pin out. Oh, shoot. I just stepped on my cord here. Now I could have made those corners a little better, but whatever. Now I'm gonna come in here and there's my usable, wonderful pocket with the zipper overlay attached. Okay, trim your threads and you're all done. Now this works for any of the shapes. The method is the same no matter what shape you use for the zipper overlay. And yes, you can do vinyl on vinyl, you can do cork on vinyl, you can do this cork on fabric or vinyl on fabric. Just make sure to use the tools that help you the most. I have done it in the past with fusible web. I didn't want you to feel like you had to buy fusible web if you don't have it. So that's why I did it this way. Now, a lot of times, for me personally in the past, I cut out the fusible web and adhere it to the back of the wrong side of the vinyl or cork, and then that's my glue. But, you know, materials cost money, and that's probably the more expensive way to do it. I should just probably switch to double-sided sticky tape or Elmer's glue, because once it's sewn, it's on there forever. I don't want you to worry about adding a quarter or a half an inch or this or that to your pocket fabric. It's not going to be that big of a deal or a big difference. Just get it done, get it sewn. This is still a big enough pocket for you to put your money in, your passport, your phones. I mean, it's nice. And this was for the Santorini purse and regular size, this one. So just remember, as a last minute takeaway, remember to use your centering creases or dashes or marks so that you can adjust to the size of overlay that you need for the pattern you're making. You do want to be sure that you have about an inch on each side clearance-wise. Otherwise, if it's really minuscule, it's hard to sew that down and have it look nice. So whatever size zipper pocket you're making, just make sure you give yourself about an inch on each short end of the zipper. All right, go at it, go practice, use your stash, get good at it, and then do it on your next bag make. All right, thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Peace, love, sewing.